Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. So if you're here from the short, you already have a backstory. If not, our word was bridge. And the way it was coming through had to do with, uh, let's just picture very large rock formations and that rope bridge in between. On the other end is something we desire, our goal, manifestation, a dream, fulfillment in general. But there's no bridge there. If there was, we would just walk right across. And we're probably in a position that that bridge is not there. We're on the other side and we can get there, but it's going to be such a long walk and a lot of time and a lot of effort to climb that mountain to get back up to the top. We want that bridge and we're deserving of that bridge. But when we're in that space, that frequency, there is no bridge. There's no opportunity. There's no gateway. There's no doorway. There's nothing because that's pretty normal. We're looking out and we see things how they are. And then if we have some triggers or some wounds, some trauma, limiting beliefs, self-esteem issues, then we're going to manifest that even more into our experience. And that bridge gets farther and farther away from being able to be built. It gets defeating. It's pretty normal. It's like, that's impossible. I can't do that. I can't get there. I'm going to have to walk all the way around. And just that idea, we may give up. So, with our supporting angel number card, it's motivation. And that goes into strength to make decisions, connection to your purpose, open to opportunities. Opportunities. I talk a lot about uh, when we manifest with that direct pinpointed idea, it clouds that, or I shouldn't say it clouds it, it makes it much more difficult to get to because we're looking at an item or an experience versus an emotion. When we use an emotion, we're open. We're much more open to paths or ways to get to that experience, and it may not look the same, but that feeling that we desire is going to be there. So we may be defeated in this experience because there's no bridge. It's too hard, it's difficult. We want it, maybe we're trying different things and it's not working. How do we get this motivation back? How do we see it as possible again? And we build little bridges. What can we bring into our experience to change our vibration, our frequency, what we're emitting? When we see that and we really want it, and it's too far out of reach, and maybe we're in a situation that sucks and we're down in the dumps, well, that's drawing us down. And maybe seeing that what we want is so far and we're never going to get it, but we always think about it, just depletes that energy level down even more. What can we bring into our experience to bring that back up? Let's look at like, say I wanted to start a business and we quit our job and we're not it's not making any money, the business. And our savings, we keep watching them go down. And during that process, we want this to be successful, but there's nothing coming in to keep us stable or survive while we see ourselves going farther and farther into a hole. That energy level continuously goes down. What can we do? Well, we could get a job. We then raise that frequency back up because we feel stable or we're surviving, but then we feel like we would be giving up on that dream. But that's this whole energy level. Technically, that would be a bit of manipulation because we already know X, Y, or Z, but we're doing this for that. Same thing with like in a relationship. Say I want to get married and I want to have a family and things, but I get into a relationship with somebody that I know I'm not going to do that with, but I'm doing it just to feel that way. Now, when I'm just feeling that way, that's still a bit dishonest because I know it's not going to get me there and I'm using this person. So we're not looking for ways that are, I mean, anybody can do whatever they want, but I wouldn't recommend doing things that are in harm to others or dishonest because even if that is in that way, we're still going to have that vibration, that frequency. So what is it that we could bring into our experience to create? Uh, and the word motivation obviously seems like an action, and actions are needed, but it is this reason to raise our vibration. What can we bring in to pull ourselves up through these times that we see these desires or these dreams or these goals are impossible to get, to have that bridge appear for us to cross. A deep knowing comes through, yes, but how can we run with that if circumstances of life, or this idea that it's so far away or so impossible, how can we hold that true knowing? Obviously, we are all co-creators here, and if we could hold that very strongly, it would be there instantly. But our emotions are attached to everything, and everything we see and hear out there surely does paint a different picture of how far out of reach are things. Our first card was the Six of Swords, a brighter future. Obviously, we could start ripping and tearing in life. We can remove things that aren't suited for us. And at a time, uh, we could say we're making room for new things to come in, and naturally we would be. But maybe by doing so, we're holding on to something. Even if we got rid of it, are we still holding on to, hey, I should have stayed there, I should have done this because this was better for X, Y, or Z, relationship, job, friends, family, living situations, whatever it may have been. If we're hanging on to something, that vibration is going to go down. We're still in the past. We'll be in a lack mentality. That whole relationship idea. Hey, I had this guy or girl, and yeah, I wasn't going to marry him, but it kept me occupied and it filled a void. But now I gave that up and I need something again. I need to fill that. I don't know if I said it before, but this ripping, no, this grabbing to try to fill things at times to maybe create this smaller bridge, this motivation. Be mindful if it's doing more harm than good. Uh, where's it going with our energetic level in the plan or the future of what it is that we desire? What are we trying to create this motivation, raise this vibration with? And and we have to be honest with ourselves and really look at, yeah, I could do this, and it might be instant gratification, or it might last a couple months or a week or so. But what is it? How can I say this? Is it gonna raise my vibration on the surface level or deep down? And that's where we kind of got to know ourselves a bit more to know this action, this behavior, this thought, this belief. Where is that going in me, into me? What part is that really going to touch? We got the Strength card sideways. Inner strength and insecurities. This goes into knowing ourselves. Uh, Shadow comes in a bit like that. I need this to feel this way. And maybe we bring those things in. People, places, or things. That can be that manipulation, which to an extent, any type of energy transfer is manipulating something, whether good or bad. We are changing something's form. And we can justify things like that dating aspect. I'm just going to do this to fill this void. But that's a surface level appearance. Like we could think that up here, but how does it feel in here? Like, yeah, I'm getting that instant gratification through this person or whatever experience we're doing, but deep down in here, it's not really fulfilling that aspect. Uh, to really hold ourselves to that level of integrity would take a lot of strength, and to without those things that we might pull to create this motivation, raising this frequency to create this bridge, uh, without using those of what we think is going to go here and what's actually going to fill it in here, takes a lot of strength to not waver, if we will. But if we really want the bridge to be built and it to be strong, that we can cross it and it not fall, we're going to need a lot of strength, a lot of dedication, a lot of holding ourselves accountable. Sun reversed, self-doubt. this is where we already started. I can't do this. This can't be done. Let alone maybe holding ourselves to that standard. Like, hey, I can't do this. I need that visual proof. I need something out there external of me to pull this vibration up, to raise this energy. And I get that. It is really how we perceive the world, the majority of us. And until we really flip that view and start to do it in here, is in a very empowering state. Very difficult because we're seeing what's out there, everything that's going on, society, our experience, the path, that mountain. Uh, there is, who knows? All of a sudden we could get an air glider and jump over that cliff. We don't need that bridge anymore. Things pop up. We see things differently. But when we're really in that, I'm going to call it a lower place, vibrationally, our situation isn't what we want. Obviously, we want to move towards something better, and it's difficult because I keep seeing this shit. How can I do this when I keep seeing shit? How can I create this? Going ways inside. Two of Wands reversed, hesitation. This is letting go of these things that we can. I'm sure there's a better word for it. I'm trying to think of how to say betterly. The surface level satisfaction versus what's really true in here. The dopamine hits, I guess. The instant gratification of, if I do this, oh, it raises my vibration, but then it drops again because I turn around and I see the shit. How can we create that longer lasting? And I think it really comes down to being truer to ourselves, taking a bit of an understanding and acknowledgement. And even if we have those shadow aspects, we have these insecurities, we're aware of them. They exist, they're there. And we may not be able to turn those off. And I'm not saying we have to get to that point, but we understand them. We don't let those lead to create those surface level feelings of epiphany and then disappear. We look down here and we say, how can I make this last a bit longer to feel comfortable, to keep that vibration up a bit? What can I bring into my life? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to embody? And this is personal to you. So we are all different. And it almost sounds like, at least I'm thinking you're thinking, like, well, I can't do that without, that's where this hesitation's coming back. Letting go of that appears like we'd put ourselves in more of a hole, because then we would have nothing to lift that up, to give that little oomph of enlightenment or enjoyment, excitement that makes us feel. But when we turn right around, we're going to feel like shit again. So then it's like, instead of half a day of feeling good, we'll feel like shit all day. But in there, we'll find something. Ten of Wands reversed. Something to release, maybe. The belief, the mindset, what's holding us down this whole time that, like I said, we may not have been aware of. Or maybe we are aware of it and we just really didn't want to let go of it because it gave this surface level experience. The Five of Cups, disappointments. Briefly spoke on, I think sometime in the beginning, or maybe it was in the short, about maybe we were trying several times. Normally we would, and we got disappointed, or how quickly we see that, hey, without that bridge, this is going to be such a long journey. It's going to take so long. Or we're looking at others and seeing that maybe they were gifted things, or they were in a family that made this more acceptable, easily acceptable for them to get to this point, and we weren't dealt that hand. Comparison in general, jealousy is motivation. Sure is, if we do something with it. Otherwise, it's a negative energy. We could say that person's just jealous of us. They're a shitty person. Well, when we see something and we're comparing, or we want that, or we're jealous of it, if we use that for motivation, that could raise the energy. Well, you know what? I can have that. I'm going to go get that. And what in my experience is affecting that, changing that? What mindsets do I have? I can't do that. Lucky them. Maybe we should let go of things like that. Got the 501 sideways, clashed interests and resolution. This is going towards this mindset. How often do we think things that contradict what I just said? We are in two different places here, and we don't need to reject the negative one, and we don't need to think the positive one is so far out of reach. We take the two together, just like that motivation with jealousy. That word can be seen as bad, and we can leave it there. We can complain, or we can use it, the full reversed, or we can use it, stagnation. We'll always be stagnant there because this is all the way over here and this one's all the way over here. They're pulling this way. Nothing's happening. We bring them together. They often say what we may deem our negative traits, they are our best traits, or wounds or traumas. The things that we think limit us the most are the most powerful. Of course, all that energy is here and it's being pulled all this way. And we're over here wanting this, or wanting to experience this, or wanting to be courageous, or have the strength to talk a public speaker or whatever. And that's over here, but because this is pulling us all the way over here. When we put the two together, we have movement then. How can we take time to really reflect on these insecurities, or whatever reason that we feel that bridge isn't there, so we're already down in the dumps, and that path is so far away, and we don't have what it takes to do that, or it's going to take too long, so we're already giving up. Our vibration is low, our energy is low, which is not a frequency of that, and we're reaching for these little things to try to fill the void or just pass time to get through, and nothing's working. Where can we really reflect on how much I'm discouraged, how much I'm disappointed, how far that seems, and see what we're holding insecurity-wise, fears, limiting beliefs, and see how far that's pulling us away, and how much we desire this, we're being pulled even farther from using the both. Maybe it's as simple as just being jealous. Whatever you want, go look at people having it and see how you feel. See what you say. See if you start complaining or bitching or getting into that lucky them aspect. I wish I had that. Oh, look at that handsome guy with that girl's so lucky, or vice versa, whatever it is. How can we pull these two together? Create that motivation, that small bridge to raise that frequency, to allow that opportunity or bridge to appear in our life. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Felt called to say I love you. Hang in there. You can do this. We all can do it. And I'll talk to you all later.